In this lesson, we will talk about that clauses after adjectives and nouns. This is in our Grammar Level 3 Grad Supplement book, which is taken from the Grammar and Beyond Level 3 book. We are looking at page 22 in our supplement book, or page 210 in the regular Grammar and Beyond Level 3 book. That clauses after adjectives and nouns. That clauses can follow some adjectives and nouns. For example, I am sure that a cultural group shares at least some values. I have the feeling that our values are quite different. In the first example, we can see that this word sure is an adjective. I am happy, I am sad, I am sure. So it's an adjective. And then we could ask the question, what are you sure of? Or what are you sure about? I'm sure that a cultural group shares at least some values. In this case, we use a noun clause because we want to describe a whole action. We've got a subject, a cultural group, and we've got a verb, shares, so we need a noun clause to help describe what you are sure about, or what I am sure about. Let's take a look at some of these grammar rules. 4.1. That clauses after adjectives. You can use that clauses after adjectives that express certainty or emotion. For example, I'm certain that I haven't read enough about American culture. I'm certain. I'm certain about something, or I'm certain of something. What are you certain about? And we can just add this noun clause after this adjective. In this case, it's not replacing a noun, but it's giving us more information about the thing that we are certain of or certain about. The conference organizers were pleased that he accepted the invitation. He accepted the invitation, and this action pleased the conference organizers. So in this case, we have another adjective, and we are giving more information to help us describe the situation that caused that feeling. You can use that clauses after it plus be plus some adjectives. So we've got it is blank. For example, it is evident, it is unfortunate, it is unlikely, it is understandable. And then after these adjectives, we add that. It is evident that many other cultures have influenced the U.S. culture. In this case, this is our fact. Many other cultures have influenced the U.S. culture, and we want to give a little bit of emotion or show how certain we are about this fact. We call this boosting or hedging. We can boost something, we make it stronger. For example, it is evident that. It is obvious that. It is clear that. So we can make this fact sound a little bit stronger. We can give our own opinion about this fact by adding an adjective here that boosts. Like it is certain that, it is obvious that, it is clear that, it is evident that. We can also use something for what we call hedging. We can use this information, these words, to hedge the information. Hedge means to make the information sound softer or less certain. So we could say something like, it is unfortunate that. This tells you that the writer has an opinion about the fact that is being presented here, or the action that is being presented here. Many students don't know more about their country's history. So this is the fact that we're presenting, and the writer is giving a little bit of an opinion by using this word. It is unlikely that means I don't think it's going to happen, but maybe we will finish the unit by next class. It is understandable that historians disagree about the development and values. In this case, this it clause is replacing something that is a personal statement. Instead of saying, I think that, or I am happy that, we can use it is, and then we can use an adjective that kind of gives our feeling in an indirect way, so we don't use a personal pronoun. If we look at 4.2, you can use that clauses after nouns that express thoughts, ideas, thoughts and ideas, such as belief, feeling, impression, and possibility. It was our impression that. This means I think that. Again, this is another way to say something without saying I. There was no possibility that he was going to convince us. You could say it was not possible that he was going to convince us. Or you could say I don't think that. So again, these are different ways that we can say this. This type of grammar is especially important in our formal writing, in our essays, because it is frequently in our academic writing, we do not want to use the word I. So in order to give our opinion about something, and at the same time avoid personal pronouns like I, me, my, we can use these general statements like it was not possible that, or there was no possibility that. You can use noun plus be plus that clauses with these commonly used nouns: concern, difference, hope, idea, impression, point, problem, saying, and views. The concern was that, the point is that, the problem is that. You can even use it with something like the reason is that, or the cause is that. If we move on to the next page, we can see this data from the real world box. It says research shows that the following nouns frequently occur with that clauses: assumption, belief, claim, conclusion, doubt, fact, hope, idea, impression, possibility, report, suggestion, and view. For example, it is your, this is a question, I read it wrong. Is it your assumption that we cannot find jobs in other companies? Instead of saying, I think you assume something, you can make it an indirect question by saying, is it your assumption? Or you can say something like, we came to the conclusion that, and then we're describing what conclusion. We came to a conclusion, what conclusion? That he would never understand our point of view. If there are any words in this list, in the 4.1 box, let me zoom out a little. If there are any words in this list that you do not recognize, you should look those up now, and you should study those on your own. If there are any words here that you do not recognize, that you do not know, you should look those up now, and you should study those on your own. Also, if there are any words here that you do not know, you should look those up, and you should study those on your own. These are some academic words that often come with this type of that clause after a noun. For your home practice, I would like you to complete exercise 4.1, that clauses after adjectives. It says, complete the magazine interview with a cultural studies expert. For each item, or for each line, use the words in parentheses with the correct form of be and that. Let's take a look at the example. This interview is about U.S. culture and the world. The interviewer asks, some experts are studying culture, and they have expressed some concerns. What are they concerned about? They are concerned that U.S. culture may have a negative impact on global culture. In this case, we've got our subject here. We've got our verb, and it includes the verb tense. We've got the object, or the rest of the sentence. So we've got subject, verb, and then the rest of the sentence. They are concerned that, and so we add the word that after our main clause verb, and then we add the information. We've got our subject, and then we've got another verb phrase in our noun clause. So you want to make sure that you've got your main clause verb, and excuse me, I explained this wrong. You have to add the be verb. So please remember that they are concerned. This is actually a passive grammar construction. It's with be and an ed, but we call this a passive adjective. And you also need to have your subject and verb in your noun clause. In this practice, one other thing that you want to be aware of is this question, what are they concerned about? If you have studied passive grammar, you should know that many passive adjectives have a preposition that they go with. I am concerned about something. I am concerned about the weather. I am concerned about my grades. I am concerned about the environment. Concerned about goes with a noun. In this case, we are using noun clause grammar, and so we will remove this preposition because the word that will take its place. So if you have a preposition, you want to make sure that you remove the preposition and use the noun clause word instead. The preposition introduces a noun. This word introduces our noun.